Welcome to Respect Games, where we respect games. This is Polo, and I'm here to give you a solo video on Guild Wars 2. I've been promising this video to the Respect community for a very long time, just to showcase how much or why I love Guild Wars 2. Now, this isn't going to be a video for long-time Guild Wars 2 players. This isn't even going to be a video for new players. This is a video to showcase why I discovered an obsession for this particular MMO. I'm gonna play a lot of MMORPGs. My main MMO that I mostly play is Black Desert Online. That is the game that I'm most known for. I played that for about 5-6 years before I stopped playing it. I've been out of the game for video for about 3 years now, so I have no idea what's going on there. But in Guild Wars 2, this is a different story. This is a new addiction for me, and I'm in love with it. I'm gonna start off here. Let's start off here. Guild Wars 2 came out in 2012, okay? I bought it in 2012. I talked about it on the podcast, so I'm not going to go into too much detail there. So it's a little bit older game, so you are going to see a little bit older graphics, but that I don't even think that matters for a game this good, to be honest. Okay, starting off with the classes though. Classes is the first thing I'm gonna start off with, because I think Guild Wars 2 is very special in that aspect, because the classes are so unique, right? You're not going to, I mean, they do have your typical DPS tank healer roles, but in this particular game, every single class, which there are 9 of them by the way, can do every single thing. They can heal, they can be a tank, they can be a DPS. So the way that Guild Wars 2 classes work, and why I love it so much, is it works this way. Each of the 9 classes have 3 specializations, or elite specializations, if you want to call them that. It goes, let me show you exactly what it looks like here. So all of these are your basic skills that you level through 1 through 80, right? It goes through 80, 1 through 80. So you have Signet training. I'm a necromancer, by the way. You have the specializations. We have like the special skills, which goes on this side of the other bar here. And then you have elite specializations. Elite specialization goes into 3 different categories, and these basically turn necromancer into a completely different class with each spec. So that alone is extremely special. I started off with Reaper, and Reaper I used a great sword and a staff. I can use 2 weapons with this particular class, and I was doing something called condition damage, and condition damage is just bleeds and chill and just a whole bunch of dot damage. Then I switched over to Harbinger. I switched over to Spear and Harbinger, because what I like about Harbinger is that it offers a little bit more I guess you could say action when it comes to this class, because when I was playing Reaper, I was doing like a minion Reaper build, and the minions were just wrecking shit and kind of made me playing the game trivial. So I decided to switch to Harbinger, and it became more of a solo spec with power damage. Like, I do so much power damage based off of these elixirs that I throw out and use. But it's just been great. It's just been great. So and then remember, each spec, and there are 9 different specs, have 3 different specializations that change the class completely. And not only that, but each spec has an opportunity to play with many different weapons too. So check this out. As a Reaper, I can use a sword in one hand. I can use a sword in my main hand, an axe, a dagger, a great sword, a pistol, a scepter, a staff, a spear, and Triton is the underwater weapons, but maybe we'll get to that later, because yes, there is even underwater combat in this game as well. But I can also use like a sword in my offhand, which will give me different abilities. I can use a focus in my offhand, which will give me different abilities. Like, there's just so much variety. And then these are all the passives, right? All right, enough about the classes. Classes are special. Another thing I like about Guild Wars 2 is they have probably the best mount system in any MMO. What I love about the mount system is that there are many different mounts that you have to have, and they utilize, they do, as this kid is mentioning, they do different utilities within the world of Guild Wars 2, because the one thing about Guild Wars 2 is that its world is absolutely massive. All of this is explored within the Guild Wars 2 world. It's fucking incredible. It's huge. It's huge. But different areas have different like situations to where you can't get to certain places. So for instance, up here, there's a mountain, and there must be something up there, obviously, because this game is all about exploration, and I'm gonna cover that a little bit later. But this Game is all about exploration. So I'm gonna need to get up there somehow, because there has to be something up there, because with the way it looks, I mean, come on, it looks like there's something up there, right? So all I do is press Alt-1, and that gives me this mount called the Springer. And the Springer, after you level it up a bit, because it takes some mastery points, and I'm gonna get to that later, I have the ability to basically super jump. Sorry, we gotta not get hit by the robot above me. To super jump up canyons and mountains and stuff. And lo and behold, there's a mastery point up here. These are important, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. But not only do you have a mount that does do that, right? You also have a mount which it took so much to unlock this. This is the Griffin mount. The Griffin mount was a secret in Guild Wars 2 a long time ago that the community had to come together and figure out how to unlock, because it wasn't even a part of anything. It wasn't even like showcase that they had flying mounts in the game until somebody discovered that this was in it. But it took a whole little quest line and achievement system and all that, and I'll get to that a little bit later too. But I unlocked this Griffin mount, and of course with the Griffin mount, it allows me to fly, or in this case particularly glide very like generously, because it isn't necessarily flying quite yet, which I do believe it takes some leveling up. And I guess that kind of leads me into the next topic of discussion, the way the leveling works. First, you have 1 through 80, which I talked about, right? For leveling up your class, you go through the base story of the game, which let me show you here. It starts off with my story, and it basically goes into these different chapters, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later too. But you basically go through my story. You go through my story 1 through chapters 0 through 8, and it gets you to level 80. Once you get to level 80, you unlock something called the mastery system. And the mastery system is cool because it still gives you something to strive for after you reach max level with your class, because then you have all of these utilities within the world of Guild Wars 2 that you utilize, and it basically lets you do better things within the world. So for instance, Heart of Thorns gives you the ability to unlock a glider, and you level up that glider by continuing to level up by killing monsters, doing quests, doing events, etc. Once you get that experience, you use your mastery points, which I have 16 available for Heart of Thorns, to unlock a mastery. In this particular case, the next mastery I'm gonna unlock for Heart of Thorns is advanced gliding, which learn to glide with such efficiency that you no longer need endurance to stay up in the air, only use endurance to perform lean techniques. So for example, if I just hop off the mount there, this is gliding, but as you can see, this bar down there is my endurance, and because I haven't unlocked that yet, even when I don't move, it takes endurance, and if you run out of endurance, jump up there and knock it loose. You die. So because fall damage is a real thing, so it's kind of a big deal. Now we talked about mastery, we talked about leveling, we talked about the classes, and we talked about how big the world is. What's so special about Guild Wars 2, and what I think is the most special part about Guild Wars 2, is the ability to make it feel like an MMO. I'm gonna give you an example here. An example here is, yeah, there's quests, right? There's your typical story quest, which I showed you that list of quests that you can go through chapter by chapter, structure by structure, and the story is absolutely fantastic, by the way. I'm gonna just throw that in there now. But there's also these things called events. Now let me see if there's where can I find like a common event that kind of always pops, because the events are random. They're just world events that just kind of randomly pop up. Let's go. Let's see if we can find one in the main town, because maybe there's an event going on right now here in this main village. But what happens is, when these events populate, you just see a community of people. It doesn't look like there's any events going on here, so poor example. But what happens is the community just comes together, parties up, and do these massive like party trains or just event trains. Even if you're not even partied up, you just do these event trains where it's just a bunch of players playing an MMO like an MMO, which doesn't happen nowadays. For example, I play Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is my #1 favorite MMO right now. But it's basically a Final Fantasy game first, and it's essentially single player for the most part, right? Yeah, there's dungeons and there's raids, but those are few and far between. There's nothing in Final Fantasy that feels like Guild Wars 2 when it comes to the event. So for example, I can start this event right here where I can activate this guy, and basically what you do is you lead him to a next area to get some more supplies. And that'll again draw a lot of players here with me, but I'm trying to see if there's any current events going on, and it doesn't look like, there's one right over here. Perfect timing. There's somebody who needs defending over here, and look at that, already 2 players right there, 3 players right here defending this. Oh no, 2 players right here defending this guy right here. But I mean, it just feels, the MMO feeling is there. I guess you get to see a little bit of the combat. Now this combat is tap target, which I know, shout out to our guy Kilo, talks about how tap targeting seems boring to him, and this is tap targeting, but I promise once you play it, it feels so much different, so much more unique as far as any other tap targeting game, because it's soft targeting. And I have something called action camera on right now, so where I actually have to aim my mouse to land my attacks. So, oh, he's reflected. Oh shit, gotta be careful. So this mob reflects projectile, so I gotta be careful there. Throw my potion out, pop that skill, got that guy down. Throw my spear, boom, teleport to it, boom, up. He's just reflecting. He's reflecting our damage. Does he reflect this? Yeah, he can't reflect that. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Each class has a special too. Like this bar down here is called my Shroud mode for Necromancer. Each class has something different. I mean, there's Elementalist where you have to like transfer through to I think 4 or 5 different elements. And what you use F through 5 for the Elementalist. You transfer between 5 different elements, and transferring through those 5 different elements changes your entire skill bar down here to different moves, which is freaking cool. Hunter is also super cool because it has the ability to catch pets like Pokemon, which I find super cool, by the way. But you catch pets like Pokemon, and you can use them, and you can use their special abilities to help you in combat, like you use a bow or something like that. It's fucking sick, man. It's so sick. This game is awesome. Let's just finish this event. But what's next in my list is I got to work through something called Living Story 4, which is basically and boom, just like that, get a bunch of XP for helping defend that. Get some rewards. You just accept that all. Boom. Now my mastery bar is getting a little bit fuller there, and I'm going towards what I'm leveling in Path of Fire right now is my Griffin mount. I'm trying to get aerial prowess. So with your Griffin, use swoop to dive rapidly to engage foes below you. Use this momentum to pull you back up and dive to fly forward at greater speeds or even directly upward. So that's what I'm working towards right now. But I digress. Where was I? I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, what I was working on next. What's next for me? So what's next for me is these Living World Season 4, which is basically after Path of Fire. And Living Worlds are basically quest lines that affects the world as a whole. And Guild Wars 2 is essentially about, how can I say without spoiling it? It's essentially about these things called Elder Dragons basically coming alive again. And Elder Dragons are a cosmic level threat, basically. It's basically like Galactus trying to destroy the world, and you, as the main character, or i.e. the commander, is tasked with trying to find ways to defeat these Elder Dragons or thwart their plans, if you will. Yeah, man, I'm just having such a good time with this game. Guild Wars 2 has been such a fantastic time. There are dungeons, there are raids I could do. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't done a dungeon, I haven't done a raid yet. Raids are like the in-game content. But there's also things called fractals, which you can get with people and do, which is like advanced dungeons, or if you're a WoW player, they're like Mythic Plus dungeons. They're awesome too, that I need to get into, with like different boss mechanics that you have to worry about. But me and my friends are just slowly going through the story, and I've been doing it for freaking weeks, and it's been just incredible. We showcase another one of these mounts here too, while I'm thinking of what else to talk about or to discuss about what I love about this game. This is a raptor, by the way, and this raptor basically has the ability to just clear gaps. He isn't the highest jumper, but he can jump the farthest distance. So he just basically launches himself if I have stamina, which I don't right now, and now I do. Basically just launch yourself across gaps. It's pretty awesome. Another good thing about Guild Wars 2 is there is what people call this game is called Drip Wars 2. Look at some of these characters like mount skins and stuff. He looks freaking cool. He has like cool wings and shit. Let's take a look at another name for this game is called Drip Wars 2 because the end game is basically looking the best you possibly can with skins and whatnot. But I'm just going here so I can I mean, like, look at these. Look at this. You look awesome. Another thing you could work on too is like legendary gear. What makes legendary gear so cool in this game is that you want to strive for it, because each piece of legendary gear gives you the ability to change your stats of your equipment. So for instance, right now I have something called Celestial Gear. Celestial Gear has a sum of every main stat in the game for my particular build that I'm using right now. Legendary gear allows you to use any stat at any time, and it can work for any character. So you can just transfer the gear to different characters and you just change the stat. Actually, you don't even need to transfer the gear to any character. You just change the stat because it'll be sitting inside of your armory here, like I got it here. And they have like cool glow effects and stuff for your weapons and dope stuff like that. But that's like later. That's like later for me. Right now, I'm just working through trying to get through this story. I'm enjoying the content. Like I said, I love.
Speak quickly.
I love how big the world is. I love how deep the story gets. The characters are endearing and actually fun, and funny, and very interesting. The voice acting is top tier, like top tier. It's probably some of the best MMO voice acting I've ever heard. And like 90% of the main story is voice acting. Like there are some dialogue options where it's a sentence or two that isn't voiced, but every main story beat is voiced. I mean, and there's like epic events. The map is huge. You can go to different parts of the map and do the different events and do different shit. There's always something to do in Guild Wars 2, and that's one of the reasons why I love it, man. Again, that MMO feeling I haven't felt since playing probably RuneScape back in the day. I'm feeling it now playing this game. So I hope that kind of clears up why I love this game. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Again, this isn't for veterans, this isn't for new players, this is just for the respect community on why I love Guild Wars 2 and why I'm addicted to this game so much. But yeah, I've been Polow Born Fly, and with respect,
I have so much to do.
I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.